Tonight on Cronkite News, World Series baseball still alive in the Valley. How these lifelong fans' love for the Snakes resulted in them living happily ever after.
Plus, we hear from the owner that led the Snakes to their first World Series 22 years ago.
And an appeals court ruling that favors doctors trying to challenge abortion restrictions in the state. We'll have those details in news. And with that, good evening and welcome to a spooky edition of Cronkite News. I'm Matt Venezia.
And I'm Jeff Hinkle. Thank you for joining us.
The Diamondbacks lost Game 3 of the World Series at home, 3-1, but the atmosphere downtown this week is still going to be something that fans can remember forever.
And as one of the youngest franchises in Major League Baseball, the Snakes fan base continues to flourish with Valley baseball lovers locked in since day one.
Our team has you covered on all the buzz in the Valley. Our Paul Schultz and Ryan Bunnell join us now from downtown. Let's start things off, Paul, with who spoke with some diehard D-backs fans this morning. And Paul, one of these fans got engaged last night, right?
Jeff Golner was the director of operations for the Diamondbacks back in 2001, the last time they were in the World Series. He just proposed to his fiancée last night at Game 3, and she said yes. I caught up with Jeff this morning, as well as his mom, who's been a season ticket holder since the start of the franchise.
I've been a season ticket holder since the very, very beginning, and so I go to a lot of games, and it's always thrilling. This year is so exciting with our team and our young players. Everywhere we go, people say, go Diamondbacks, and I love something that brings our community together.
Sandy Fromm is as loyal a D-back fan as you can find. She's been there since Game 1 and has all the memorabilia to prove it.
Opening day.
Opening day.
No, let's go back to our colors. In fact, if you go to Cincinnati, the whole stadium's red. And Philadelphia, the whole stadium is red. And you come here and we're not sure what color to wear. Right? So I wish somebody would listen to me and say, go back to the original, these were the winning colors. Go back to the winning colors.
Sandy and her son, Jeff Golner, who was the Diamondbacks director of operations from 1997 to 2005, have a baseball bond from attending every opening day together to attending every game, home and away, of the 2001 World Series.
And it certainly brings our family together. We've got family texts all the time. I'm sure not unlike a lot of people, but that also brings us together, and even the ones that don't really care about baseball get kind of sucked in too.
Now mother and son are hoping for the same winning result. And adding to the magic, Golner proposed to his girlfriend during Game 3.
Nobody knew. I mean, really nobody knew. I've surprised lots of people. She was shocked. She thought it was a joke.
I'm over the moon today, feeling great. And what turned out to be a private setting kind of became a public setting, but it was just super fun and just so excited.
And all that's left now is another ring to add to their storied collection.
We're going to win this whole thing.
Yep, got to get it tonight, but absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to go all the way, which would be quite fitting to go to Game 7, but we'll see. It starts tonight.
Jeff and his fiancée met back at the World Series in 2001, so it's safe to say this is really a full circle moment for the family. His mom is going to the game tonight, and based on her track record, it's safe to say that things could end up well for the D-backs. In Phoenix, Paul Schultz, Cronkite News.
The Arizona Diamondbacks are feeling some of the pressure for tonight's Game 4, being down 2-1 in the series. Someone who knows what it's like is ASU baseball coach Willie Bloomquist, who played for the D-backs from 2011 to 2013. While Bloomquist is busy getting the Sun Devil baseball season off the ground, he's enjoying watching this Diamondbacks team and remembering the 2011 season when he played for the Snakes, when that team went from worst to first, making it all the way to the NLDS.
I think that just goes back to the preparation that you put in and trusting the preparation that you've done, and you know, these guys aren't phased, man. They play in front of a lot of people every night, so I think any added pressure at this point is, you know, I don't want to minimize it and say self-induced, but a lot of it is. They're going out and playing, and you can tell the D-backs are playing free and loose.
It was nearly impossible to predict this World Series matchup happening at any point of the season. And that's what sports bettors are loving about this year's Fall Classic. Ryan Bunnell joins us now from Chase Field with more on how gambling fans are placing their World Series bets.
The Super Bowl here in February marked the first major championship event with legal sports betting available inside the arena. Although Phoenix is the second city to host a World Series with sports betting available to fans, it's the first with a sportsbook right outside the ballpark. I spoke with some fans before the game, and there seemed to be one common theme. They're ready to watch their World Series wagers unfold.
You know, it's definitely one of those things that allows you to be more involved in the game, not just rooting for your team, but also wanting some things to hit. You know, if you're smart about it and you do it right, I mean, I think it could be a great thing for sports in general.
2.5 years after the state legalized sports gambling, Arizona residents have wagered over $11.5 billion on sports. With the World Series now in town, fans are taking advantage of the relatively new activity and the local sports books Phoenix has to offer.
To be able to have the luxury of having sports books locally, you know, say you want to watch the fights, you want to watch a game you can't get on your TV, you know, it's great to have the option to come down and watch it here and bet here and do your cheering from the sports book.
While some fans are just happy to grab a pint and watch a game,
So we love convenient sports betting, especially when it's at the bar.
others find joy in the extra pep in their step when having some sort of wager on a game they are attending or watching.
You know, when you're out there and you get to do the live betting, I mean, that's where it's at, you know, I think.
Yeah, the small moments of sitting there and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, is this going to be a ball or strike? And it gives you a little bit more emphasis and excitement in every play that happens in a baseball game.
It's made me watch a lot more games.
Yeah, way more interested in every game, whether it's baseball or football or basketball. I'm in on it just because I'm like, I need my guy to hit his parlay or whatever.
Usually it's just your team, but now it's like, I'll watch all the games now.
According to representatives from Caesars Sportsbook, no other state in the country has seen as much World Series betting action as Arizona has thus far. So, if you're going to Game 4, bust out those rally towels and get ready to sweat whatever wager you may have on the game.
Every game from here on out is crucial for the Snakes. They lost their first World Series game at home Monday night and hope to force a Game 6 that will be played in Arlington. And if the Answerbacks can repeat history, a World Series Game 7 will also be in Arlington. Now moving to football, breaking news from the Arizona Cardinals. Quarterback Joshua Dobbs has been traded to the Minnesota Vikings, according to the NFL. This comes one day after head coach Jonathan Gannon benched Dobbs for Sunday's game against the Browns. Rookie Clayton Tune is still set to start in that matchup, while Kyler Murray continues recovering from a torn ACL nearly a year ago.
The Diamondbacks and the Rangers are in the thick of this World Series right down the road at Chase Field. And this year's team is a lot different than that 2001 team. And I got to sit down with the man responsible for originally bringing baseball to the Valley. Meaningful October baseball. It's been 22 years since the last time the Arizona Diamondbacks were playing in the World Series. The man who constructed the D-backs' last trip to the Fall Classic has been keeping a close eye on what he helped start.
Whenever you give birth to something, you're forever attached to it. So obviously, when I was asked to bring baseball to Phoenix and we were able to get that accomplished, I knew at the time that baseball would have a tremendous impact on Phoenix and the Southwest.
The newest expansion team on the block, way back in 1998, looked a little bit different than this 2023 D-backs lineup. The big unit, Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, and Luis Gonzalez, headlined an experienced and veteran-loaded roster.
Our game plan was over 4 years to be competing. Well, we did that in spades because we won 3 divisional titles and we won a World Series, the fastest ever in the history of the game.
Colangelo says it's exciting to see the D-backs get back to the World Series for the first time since he was at the helm. But this 2023 team is writing its own story, one that he says cannot be compared to that team in '01.
What we did was one thing. What they're doing is something else again. And there aren't any comparisons. We finished the job. I hope they're able to finish the job.
Speaking that it's been 22 long years since the last time the D-backs won a National League pennant, the only other D-backs owner who can also say the same thing has an idea on how to keep the Snakes prevalent in the NL beyond just this October.
The important thing is you're running a business, you want to compete, fans respond to teams that are exciting and winning. I wouldn't suggest anything to them except to say it's a lot of fun to win.
Good stuff from Mr. Colangelo. The D-backs have done a lot of that so far in this postseason, knocking off the Brewers, the Dodgers, the Phillies, and now they're here in the World Series.
Yeah, great stuff, Matt. And coming up next, this unique sport is making its presence known in the Valley, one ride at a time. how this startup polo league is doing its part to grow the game in the United States.
And we still have fall temperatures ahead for Game 5 tomorrow and the rest of the week. Your weekly forecast is after the break.
Three, 2, 1. Cronkite News. Get real professional experience in areas such as reporting, broadcast editing, and behind-the-scenes production, such as technical director and audio.
Kill the mics.
Or go out in the field and cover important local stories.
Learn and master the English language.
In a fun, welcoming atmosphere. Cronkite News. The future starts now.
Here at the Walter Cronkite School, students produce award-winning content that focuses on health disparities in underserved communities and how to turn things around. In Cronkite News and Cronkite Noticias, students cover stories that affect people of color, the LGBTQ+ community, people with disabilities, and others across the Southwest.
We highlight big problems that are often overlooked in communities that are underserved.
Those stories not only inform and educate people about the challenges, but we work hard to highlight potential solutions. In the Cronkite Agency, students work to connect with community members through social media campaigns in English and Spanish.
Being a Hispanic myself, it's nice to be able to give back to my own community.
Find more of our health coverage at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
I'm gonna try to go to one of these games. Hopefully one of these games. But if sure gonna watch it and follow the game on TV if I don't go. But I'm excited for the Diamondbacks in the city of Phoenix and the state of Arizona. I mean, it's gonna be electric in there tonight.
Welcome back, and great stuff there from KD. And as the excitement continues for the World Series, the Phoenix Suns are sticking around the Valley for Halloween night, adding more chaos to downtown Phoenix as if we needed it. And as they take on the San Antonio Spurs for their second home game of the regular season. Suns star players Devin Booker and Bradley Beal were getting some shots up after practice yesterday, but Frank Vogel said the two will not be playing in tonight's game, as they're both still recovering from their minor injuries. One player who will be playing tonight is 13-time All-Star Kevin Durant. He spoke on what it's like to go up against a player of a similar build, the 7'4" rookie sensation Victor Wembanyama.
Just an exciting player, talented, very, very skilled and gifted. You know, can do a lot of things on the floor. And they got a long, athletic team that can shoot the basketball. They play with energy, and he's probably the anchor of all of that. So we got our work cut out for us.
The sport of polo, it's not typically associated with the United States, but that's changing, at least here in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Danny Stepanovich has more on Arizona's first indoor polo league, which is trying to grow an exclusive sport in the community.
Right. The sport of kings. A hobby that the average Joe can't afford. But twice a week in a dimly lit arena in Scottsdale, a handful of riders are taking advantage of affordable horse polo lessons.
It's not easy to find a place that has actually polo, and it's not easy to find a place that is actually willing to teach you how to play polo, you know? So I'd like to tell people to make the first step, you know, to not be afraid, to come, to join, because they're gonna find an amazing world.
A game based on military strategy that requires riders to anticipate on offense, block on defense, and follow the captain's orders, all while controlling a 1,000-pound moving horse.
Polo is a very complex sport. Not many people know about this. Our main focus has been trying to introduce it to different people, especially here in Arizona, you know, that we have a great horse culture, but no polo culture.
The Scottsdale Polo Club understands that to keep horses on the pitch, they need to keep riders in their saddles. To encourage community members to try an expensive sport, students are provided with a horse, equipment, mallet, and saddles.
You couldn't pick a better place to start than here, because if you come and you play, Martin is really good about making sure that he finds you the right level of horse for your, for where you are. I know a lot of people who started polo with absolutely no riding experience.
Beginning lessons start with some of the basics. Martin teaches you how to get comfortable,
learn the fundamentals of the game, the strategy behind the game, and the different types of swings.
Once beginners get comfortable competing in a small controlled area, they can graduate to the outdoor fields in Casa Grande.
Once you play, once you hit that ball for the first time, you make contact, you feel one with the horse, kind of like that feeling, everything that is in your head, goes away.
Half of the sport is strategy, but the most important part is the bond between the horse and the rider.
Horsemanship is how you can properly relate to the horse. How is your understanding of the animal, not only as, let's say, an element or a tool, understanding that it's not a machine, it's not like a motorcycle, it's an animal, that feels.
On a good night when it all clicks, the rider and horse compete together in a sport made not just for kings, but for anyone not scared of a little dirt, a little speed, and a burst of adrenaline.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
In Scottsdale, Danny Stepanovich, Cronkite News.
I don't know if there's going to be a lot of polo players in costumes this year for Halloween, but you're probably going to see a lot of zombies and baseball players going door to door right now. And as Alexis Davis tells us, it's a nice night for trick-or-treaters.
Now, the weather's a little spookier than it normally would be this year on Halloween. I wanted to dress up Court, my golden doodle, as a snickerdoodle, put him in a Snickers costume, but this year we just ran out of time. But luckily for you, if you're already outside trick-or-treating, you're gonna be only experiencing 72 degrees. Now, looking at the future cast, the rest of the country isn't having so much of a clear night for this perfect trick-or-treating weather that we're having here in Arizona. A little bit of a dust of snow and even some clouds. Going into the lower temperatures, 57 in Phoenix and up in Flagstaff, 23 degrees. Perfect for a cabin trip, but we're not quite ready to hit the ski slopes. Now, going into our hotter temperatures, 84 in Phoenix and Yuma out to our west is giving us a little bit run for our money here in the capital. Now, Diamondbacks fans, as you're navigating through that World Series traffic, it's going to be 85 degrees, and everyone says it's bigger in Texas, so the Diamondbacks are going to have to pull out all the big stops that they want to win this series. Now, looking at our 8-day, 83, 85, 85. Not too much changing here, but as we go into our 8-day, it's going to be 86 on Saturday. A little bit of clouds, but not too much to really ruin any of those great plans you might have for this weekend. I'm Alexis Davis from the Weather Center. Have safe trick-or-treating.
Still to come, our top news stories from Arizona and across the nation.
Our Kenji Ito joins us from the newsroom. Kenji, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff and Matt. Our top story tonight, Arizona's abortion law is being contested again. Arizona doctors and abortion activists have argued the law is constitutionally vague. We'll have the court's response when we come back.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to stream
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
I'm Kenji Ito, and here are the latest headlines. The U.S. Department of Education announced it is fining Grand Canyon University $37.7 million for misleading graduate students. In a press release, the Office of Federal Student Aid says GCU lied to more than 7,500 students about the cost of their doctoral programs. The investigation determined that since 2017, 78% of doctoral students paid $10,000 to $12,000 more than GCU originally advertised. The school claimed that information about other fees and extra classes could be found in fine print disclosures, but the FSA found this insufficient. The Arizona Republic reported Tuesday that Governor Katie Hobbs and State Superintendent Tom Horn reached an agreement to continue giving federal funding to schools. After a public disagreement on who is responsible for the federal grants, both offices have agreed to work together. The grants stem from two 2021 COVID relief bills and gave Arizona millions of dollars for school funding. Horn has previously said the Department of Education should handle the money, but has since allowed the governor's office to do so. A case questioning Arizona's abortion law is heading back to the court after a ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. The court ruled that Arizona doctors can challenge the abortion law they say is vague. The law makes it a felony for doctors to perform abortions on patients seeking the procedure solely because of a genetic disorder. Attorneys for the doctors say the law is vague about a number of issues, including what conditions are included. The case was sent back down to a lower court to consider the doctor's argument. Turning now to the special election right here in Arizona. The special election allows residents in a number of cities to weigh in on bonds that impact everything from streets to police to parks. Today is the last day to mail in your ballot, but if it slipped your mind though, you can still drop it off your ballot at any secure drop box location or vote in person next Tuesday. Residents in Maricopa County can find their nearest drop box or voting location on the Maricopa County website. And Valley Metro is prepared to take you across the valley straight to the action in downtown Phoenix right here at Chase Field. Valley Metro says they have added extra cars in order to handle the extra traffic. Trains arrive every 15 to 20 minutes, and riders are highly encouraged to download the Valley Metro app to see train schedules. If you still want to drive downtown, be prepared as parking prices have skyrocketed and Uber and Lyft prices are also expected to surge for rides into downtown tonight. And that's it for the latest news headlines. In the newsroom, I'm Kenji Ito, Cronkite News. Now back to Matt and Jeff at the desk.
Thank you, Kenji. And coming up after the break, Halloween festivities come to Cronkite.
Our very own Emily Mai will take us through some pumpkin carving.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sensei Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
the bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
So of course it's Halloween, and one of the most classic Halloween activities is pumpkin carving. Matt, what's your favorite style of pumpkin to carve?
It's nothing crazy. Your typical triangle eyeballs and then the zigzag triangle for the mouth.
Just the classic jack-o'-lantern style, like
nothing crazy with it.
Nothing
Jeff.
like painting on a pumpkin or anything you see right here. I mean, Emily Mai joins us now to walk us through what are we looking at right here, Emily?
Yeah, Jeff. So I attended a pumpkin carving class hosted by Ray Villafane. He is this famous pumpkin artist. He's been on Food Network shows for the past few decades. And this October, he taught 2 classes down here in Scottsdale, and I got the chance to speak with him about pumpkin carving. We talked a lot about setting yourself up for success and, above all, just having fun with it. After we spoke, I decided to take a stab at it. I definitely, had a lot of fun here, and it really helped that I have my own background in ceramics. This was my first time trying anything like this. I think I really overcame my perfectionism, and I was really able to bring this Walter Cronkite pumpkin to life.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever do anything like that.
No, and it looks pretty good. Got the bobblehead there too to kind of show the resemblance. Not too bad.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for Cronkite News. Have a happy and safe Halloween, and thank you so much for joining us.
And to see more top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.